Hey, so today I'm going to show you how I made this drop, kinda like space laces. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I tried to do the French method and wanted to make something like space laces. So yeah, you saw the demo and yeah, let's begin. So here I have the base. It is of two layers. One is the main layer and other one is crispy layers. Yeah, what is that? So the main layer, so if I solo the bass, the group together, you will hear this. Crunchy, crunchy, yeah. So it has two layers. One is this, and one is the main bass, which is the main layer. So initially I had made a patch which sounded like this, which is just some pitch bending with some unison and some flanger cutoff in which I was modulating the cutoff of the flanger, and I got something like this. So this whole drop is made from this sample, not this one, the second one. And the first one is only made with this sample. I stretched it like twice, and then I used texture walk mode and played with the grain size, and I got different results. Like, and let's set it to complex. Yeah, this was the initial hit. Oops. So yeah, that's how I made different sounds out of this sample and arranged it like this. So yeah, it's like I have pitched it up, played with the grain size, flux, and everything. And now let's talk about the crispy layer. So it's the same base. I just copy pasted this over here. And if I turn off all the post processing, it sounds like this. Whoa. So first of all, I started with an EQ, which I boosted the highs. I will tell you why, but yeah, I just boosted the highs like too much, like 15 dB. And then I added a format filter to get that format in this. And then I used camel crusher and saturated it very heavily. Like you can see the Mac is turned up and tuned, and it sounds like this. Yeah, it's very distorted and maybe not useful, but it is. And then I put OTT with like 41% to make it a bit pleasing to the ear. And then I have EQ, which I low cut everything below 1K and just kept the highs, which is above 1.26K. And it sounds like this, which is a good layer for your main bass, and it adds that girth. Yeah. And then I added one dimension expander with a little bit of width, and at the last I added ring mod, which doesn't do much, but it is there actually. So it's set to its KHS ring mod. The modulator I have set to sine oscillator, and the bias is 37%. And I have turned up the stereo over here also. The frequency is 43.2 hertz. And you may be asking what does it do? Well, if you hear this in solo, it won't be there won't be much difference. Yeah, but if I play the bass together, it will be good. It helps it to glue together, you can say. And then the group processing of this bass is just this is the main thing. If I turn it off, it will sound like shit. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about the main bass post processing in this track. It's nothing but just some EQ for the correction and one thick rack with some reduced noise. You can download it. It's in the description for free. And then again one EQ, which I cut this around 5K to give this space for this layer, this P layer, and that was all it. And in the group processing, I have two little radiator. They are sick. Actually, they are sick. So right now it sounds like this. Now if I turn one of them on, yeah. So I have turned off noise bias off and I have pulled up the heat to the max and the mix is set to like 11 o'clock over here, not too much. And the second one which I'm using, I have turned on the bias and the heat is still on and it's just a little bit like 10-15%, 10%. And it sounds like this now. Yeah, it sounds sick right now. And then I have an EQ. Yeah, this is a mess actually, but yeah, it's for the correction. And I have this plugin called PNCH Punch. It's actually Punch. When you turn up the knob, the U gets multiplied. It also helps in making the bass crispy. Like if I turn it off, and now when I turn it on, yeah, kinda, it helps. And reverb, the reverb is only there for this section. And another EQ just to boost some of the mids like 500 hertz and I lower and I decrease the highs by 1.61 dB. And yeah, that was all my bass processing. And now let's talk about the sub. In this, the sub plays an important role. So let me make you hear the sub alone. The noise in this sub is mono. It's all mono. So yeah, let me show you. So the serum patch is simple. I gave it some harmonics, a little bit of harmonics, and then I turned on the noise and I'm filtering the noise with this high pass 18 high 18 cut off at 334 hertz, which gives it a bit like yeah sound. And yeah, some distortion and decreasing some of the mids in the sub. And then I have again KHS ring mode. It doesn't do much right now. It's just modulating the self with bias turned all the way up and nothing else. And the amp and EQ for some correction to take down some of the highs. And yeah, that's all I have in the sub. And now let's talk about the sustains. So I have pitched this sine wave like this is a very high pitched sine wave, and then I'm using ring mod again, and the modulator is sine oscillator in this. and the bias is turned all the way up and rectifies negative, and the frequency, I'm modulating the frequency, and the spread is also up. You can see the frequency being modulated manually over here. Oh, and I moved ahead. So I'm just playing at different frequency like this, and yeah, and again over here also full sustains. Yeah, and this is for the background, for the call, you can say. It's kind of like a yoink. So yeah, this was the first part, and the second part with this proper Riddim type drop you get. It's just my glitch sample, which I have made. I have tons and tons of glitches, which also helps in making drops. Like it was 34. The original sample is this. So when I put this in here, it sounded like this. And yeah, it was kind of cool. And yeah, I added the same thing on the crispy layer. That's how my bass is sounding so thick. Yeah, and stuff is like this. Nothing has changed. And this was the main thing that I did. And after that, besides the bass, I have this vocal and kind of wanted to make something similar to Space Laces, so I got this vocal. I EQ'd everything. I just kept the vocals, although it's not even cleared. And yeah, I have this sample, like vintage type brass sample. And a choir. And yeah, how can we forget lasers? It's very essential in Space Laces type of drop. Those lasers play important role in the second drop, the Riddim drop. It's triplets. And yeah, I have some background elements like crowd cheering. And yeah, I have given some dimension expander for width. And yeah, some more samples. So to fill the gaps. And yeah, it's nothing much. Hi-hat loop. Yeah. And yeah, that is all I did in this project. It's all about making the flow and post-processing, and you get something like Space Laces. Yeah, sick. So yeah, that was the video. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment box, and yeah, I will try to cover it. Yeah, tell me, is it really like Space Laces? Did I miss? So yeah, that's all for today.